The key to treating cancer or any other disease is blood alkalinity, a state which neither chemotherapy nor radiotherapy can create. Statistics from the National Cancer Institute of the United States indicates that an estimated 50,000 persons, both male and female, died from colon and rectal cancer in 2012. It is also estimated that 1 in 20 men will be diagnosed with cancer of the colon and rectum during their lifetime. 67-year-old Joseph James of Jamaica is one of those persons. His diagnosis of stage 3 colon cancer came in 2009. You will hear his unforgettable story on the brink of death. Greetings, my name is Jane Michelle, and today I'll be sharing with you a wellness journey, a phenomenal story of a courageous man. His name is Joseph James. And I want to hear from you. What is the status of your health today, and are you cancer free?
I'm happy to report that my health is great, my energy is great, and my most recent medical report suggests that I am cancer free.
So, Mr. James, having exhausted all your options, having done surgery, it was decided that nutrition was really the best way forward. Take me back in a synopsis to that stage and share with me what that experience was like. What were some of the changes your body went through before having gone to naturopath Ted Emmanuel and after having gone on the program?
Uh, Actually, my body was pretty frail. That's one of the adjectives. That I was pale. The palm of my hands, my feet, they were white as snow. Right. The But to put it in perspective, though, when I did this last surgery in 2009, the doctors went in. They determined that the treatment that I had previously had caused my intestine to deteriorate real bad. It was fragile. They couldn't touch it. They had to put me back together and decide what to do. So when they went in the second time, most of their fears was realized.
I can imagine how fearful you must have felt.
My entire
during that
family,
process.
everybody, my kids that were living abroad, they all came down to say goodbye at the advice of my doctor. They thought it was that bad. However, um, the doctor, he determined that I should use nutrition because after exhausting all the expensive medical treatment, he determined that I should use nutrition and that it would be a very, very lengthy recovery process. It is at this stage, and I should add that I was experiencing a serious problem because they had to create two fistulas in the process to save my life, and they were not healing. So all the treatment wasn't working, and the doctor determined that it called my wife in, and the entire family and says, "Okay, we want you guys to prepare the most nutritious food that you can find." My daughter, very good friend of Dr. Emmanuel, she had come down from the States to assist, and she says, "This is where Dr. Emmanuel comes in." And she invited him to come to the hospital. He sat right there at my bedside, and he said, "Joe, I told you you should not have taken the radiation, but I'm going to deal with it." And immediately, he took my daughter to his office. They came back with some treatment. They removed all the traditional food, all the traditional medicine. And I must add I was in the process of being removed to another medical institution where I could undergo intensive treatment. Uh, Dr. Emmanuel came in and he introduced his program, and I should thank the hospital for giving him that privilege too. And in about 3 or 4 days, my daughter called the doctor who was telling her that I can't go home. I'm too sick to go home. I'm too sick to be transported abroad. And I need to be in the hospital for a long time. 3 days after Dr. Emmanuel's program started, she called my doctor and says, "Hey, my dad is ready to go home." And he said, "Oh, yes, I know." But he was referring to transferring me to the other institution. And she says, "No, I don't think you understand. He's ready to go home." And he came over because he was amazed. And he immediately discharged me, not to the other medical institution, but to my home. And I've been there since. I went home to my own bed, to my family, and I've been on that recovery road. And I've been staying with the program ever since. And it has been reasonable.
How long after being on the program did you start noticing physical changes in your body and your feeling? How long
I
after?
would say 3 days, 2 to 3 days.
2 to 3 days. Phenomenal.
2 to 3 days. And as I said to you before, right, there was physical evidence.
Yes.
Because the doctors were concerned that I may become septic. Um, there were physical evidence, and in 2 to 3 days, there were signs that I was recovering, and I was well enough to go home.
So it's fair to say in less than a week, you were on your way to renewal, to reinvigorating your body on Dr. Emmanuel's program.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Absolutely. And it had been done right there in the presence of my entire family and friends who was coming to visit me at the hospital.
It's amazing. I always recall Mr. Ted Emanuel saying that food is the main sustenance of life, and that food is energy and food is intelligent. I want to hear from you. How consistent have you been with your diet?
Unfortunately, because I'm living outside of the glare of Dr. Emmanuel, I have not been as consistent as I should, but I do continue this program as much as possible. I've made every effort to change my lifestyle, to change my eating habits, change my working habits, my sleeping habits, everything that he has taught me to do. That has actually saved my life. I continue to do those today.
That's awesome. You're looking good, and I know you're feeling good. I want to hear from you. Do you still visit your doctor? And if and when you do, what does he have to say to you about your progress and what your journey has been like?
I have not been able to revisit my original family doctor for the same reason that I've been living away from home. But I've had many comments from the current doctor, various doctors, because I've gone through gastroenterologists, various doctors, and they all are happy with my progress. They all comment that I'm looking good. When I revisit, most of my old friends, the first thing they remark is that, "Oh, you're looking extremely well."
And I'm sure that's great news for you.
It is indeed. It is indeed.
So for those who are on the program, or even those contemplating visiting a naturopath, what would you say to those people?
Firstly, I want to tell them that it works. Secondly, I would say to them, do your research properly, because it's not everybody that claims to be a wellness doctor really knows their job as well as Dr. Emmanuel does. And I'm saying this because I have been talking with Dr. Emmanuel for approximately 9 years, and I am convinced that he knows the human body very well. He understands the foods very well. He understands the application of the treatment very well, and I think that has resulted in the success of my treatment.
Journey. Your family, they have been very supportive and they've been there from day one. Do you encourage them to take on this journey that you're living now? What's that conversation like?
Well, you're right. They have been very supportive. They have been hands-on, and I'm just a testament to everything here. I didn't have to pull any tooth. I didn't have to convince them. They were all willing participants. I have two sisters who have been seeing Dr. Emmanuel ever since, and they have reported very, very good results, and they have made, they have convinced a lot of other people to try the program.
So, cancer-free, living, loving life, how are you treating your health in general now?
Well, I've taken it extremely serious. I've given up a lot of the old habits. I do my exercise. I stay away from animal products. I'm sure Dr. Emmanuel will be happy to hear. I stay away from everything that is harmful, because one of the things that he taught me is that the food is my medicine, and my medicine should be my food. So I keep that in mind. So each time I'm going to make a decision what I'm going to eat or what I'm going to put in my system, I refer to the things that he taught me.
For someone who has basically been in the valley of the shadow of death, so to speak, and back, what is your message to the world? One piece of advice that you'd want to leave with the nation?
Well, yeah, right. I was on the brink of death, and I would say to anyone that it probably takes a combination of things that that will result in your wellness. Family support, as we mentioned, and proper dieting and discipline. Right? Follow the advice of your doctor, be it a medical doctor or a naturopathic doctor. Follow his advice closely.
It has been an absolute honor sharing with you today, and I wish you all the best going forward.
And I thank you wholeheartedly.
Mr. James was told twice he had cancer. The first time around was cancer of the prostate, which was eradicated within a 90-day period. The second time was cancer of the colon. It took us 4 months the second time around. No, I have never used anything other than food, spices, and herbs, exercise, and good rest tailored to the individual's need so that they can leave from that acidic state into an alkaline state. This is exactly what Mr. James did.
What makes cancer so dangerous?
We all have cancer cells. And if cancer cells were really dangerous, we would have all be dead by now. Cancer becomes dangerous when they're overfed with acidic foods, causing the cancer cells to proliferate at a rapid rate, hence causing havoc within the organism.
Persons with cancer who opt for medical treatment or surgery, how should their behavior change after such an experience?
Don't think because you've had surgery, the cancer is gone. This is a myth. It is not true at all. Within a matter of years, 2 or 3 years, sometimes even sooner, we see the cancer coming back. Sometimes come back even more rapid, more aggressive than before. So, dietary change, lifestyle change, adequate rest, balanced nutrition, these are all key things to get your immune system in order so that you can live. All the patients that I've been successful with, working with them with cancer, like Carmen Smith, Laurel Finch, Leonard Barrett, Glenroy Samuel, and many others. The key here is compliance.
Doctors are now warning patients about predisposed cancer genes, meaning that patient may have cancer in the future. How should one treat this information?
If you have some cancer gene from your dad or your mom, you can keep your blood in an alkaline condition and not allow it to reach a level of acidosis, hence not developing cancer cells to hurt you. Now, if you go out and you abuse yourself, you become obese or you become overly acidified, yes, this will come into play and you'll be more susceptible or vulnerable to developing cancer where it can hurt you.
Your dietary program consists of foods, vitamins, and herbs. Without proper guidance and education, what are the dangers one would face when choosing to self-treat with herbs?
When it comes to herbs, no one herb is going to do it. If not, this great country of Jamaica would not be in the condition it is with cancer, the high rate of cancer. We have one of the highest rates of cancer, prostate cancer in the world per capita. So even though we have all the herbs here, no one herb is going to do it. And without the full understanding of the energetic properties of an herb, all the herbs that you are using to match the condition that you are assisting, without that understanding, you will fail. I have a selection of about 20 to 25 herbs that I use depending on the individual's condition and their need. Not just the disorder, because I don't treat the disorder. I am treating the body as a whole. So you need a variety of herbs to match the various organs, glands, phases, and systems of the human body. So it's not about the cancer cells. It's about the blood quality, viscosity, texture, the weight of the blood. How fast is the blood moving? So metabolically speaking, you have to take this into consideration. And here comes exercise.
Could you share some of the nutritional advice you shared with Joseph James? And what were the foods you knew would have sabotaged his progress?
If you want to sabotage further, you will continue with the fried things, the excess eating of nuts and seeds, dairy foods, cheese, butter, milk, sugar, excess carbohydrates, especially the refined carbohydrates, they convert to fat. And fat is what feeds cancer cells. Now, what you can do to reverse the activity and behavior of these cancer cells is to shift to a more alkaline diet, as mentioned before, using as a staple rice. Rice is the most centering of all the grains. It is most supportive to the blood than any other grain that we know, scientifically and otherwise. We accompany the rice with millet. Millet is high in protein. The rice doesn't have as much protein. So we use a particular percentage of rice and millet combined. We need vegetables. So we use all the colors of the spectrum. But it depends on the type of cancer and the condition the person is in at the present moment. But first we must understand the energetic properties of the vegetables that we are combining and putting in this person's blood. Tomatoes are high in potassium. Unless they are stewed where the direction chemically would change, you would not give that person tomatoes, period, nor ketchup or any of those expansive energy. You would not give that person sugar or fruits or fruit juices, because these are all expansive, as the stomach is an expansive organ. The stomach is a female organ. It's a vessel. It carries food. It carries material. So it's female. It's not a male. So why would you give that body expansive foods? So this is why you have to shift. If the cancer is in the stomach, you know it's an aggressive cancer. You cannot use aggression like giving somebody with an aggressive cancer sugar. Sugar stimulates. You cannot give them alcohol. Alcohol stimulates. So these are things that one must know if you are telling somebody that you are their physician and you're looking about their cancer. If you don't understand, they will die, indeed. That's why you can't cut it out, you don't drug it out, and you don't burn it out. Whatever you do, the condition has to be corrected from an overly acidic state to an alkaline one. Now, how does one go about doing those things? One must first love oneself. Very key. If you love yourself, then you get the discipline necessary to do the dietary program. The cancer is you. Change your condition, and the cancer will get back to its normal state to support the so-called healthy normal cell.